I will now begin the recording and say hello everybody again. It's great to meet you again this week. More so because we were not sure that we could actually meet, but here we are. I'd like to start with a short practice about presence. So first thing is let's just get comfortable, maybe close our eyes if it feels better, and then begin the observation of what happens inside. First of all, let's look at our mind. Our observer is at the center of our head, roughly located where the pineal gland lives. Let it look at your mind and feel the observer while you do. Feel your presence. You are in the here and now when you remember yourself. That is, when you feel the observer in action. Let's now observe our body from the inside. That is, let's become aware of its position. Let's become aware of the breathing. Let's feel the heartbeat. Not only in our chest, you may feel it all over your body if you pay attention. Let's now look internally at our feelings, let's say the center of our chest. And while we do that, let's not lose the feeling of the observer that is doing the observation. That's the gateway to our real self. It's the most important part. Are we able to feel the body, the feelings, and see the mind at the same time? Let's enjoy this moment of presence. Might be the first one in a long time. Let's make it last. Okay, well done. It's not time to lose our presence, but we may move on to what follows. If you can maintain that feeling of being there for the next few minutes or as long as possible, that will be great. What is the topic of today? I've called it the invisible barrier. And this is about the obstacles that lie inside of our personality or egos. And from a point of view of hiding behind other thoughts and feelings, still act against our intentions often without us realizing. Let's talk about an example here. Let's say I would like to open a coffee shop, or at least that's the official idea I have. And then when I say, yeah, I might open a coffee shop, what happens in my mind without me realizing? What type of associations come as a result of that? Well, if I don't pay attention, the result might be that 1 minute later, I say something like, yeah, that would be nice, but I don't think I can do that. Now, if I look a little further and say I was paying attention when I said, oh yeah, I'll open my coffee shop, then I might have noticed some thoughts coming up, for example, about how difficult it is to find the premises and how expensive it can be to rent them, but not at a conscious level. It was just like a sort of feeling of overwhelming difficulty that pushes me back. And without realizing what's happening, I find myself going like, yeah, it would be nice, but no, I don't think I can do that. Or I might have felt uneasy because there are a lot of bureaucracy steps to be taken. And I personally am not a big fan of bureaucracy and going to public offices to fill forms and understand complex legislation. I don't think anybody has a lot of fun doing that. But again, if this comes in a very subtle and quick way, I don't realize what is happening unless I use the magnifying glass. Now I tell you because I've used the magnifying glass, but otherwise I might just be pushed back with a feeling of uneasiness, like it doesn't feel good. But if you asked me why, then I would probably struggle to find the reasons. Now I know because I've been doing some microscopic observation. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because we all, I believe, have had projects in our lives that we have cultivated in our imagination for a long time, but which never came true. They were never fulfilled. And it would be interesting to understand if the reasons why we did not actually carry out our ideas or projects are those that we officially quote, or there is something else. Often things do not happen for the reasons that we state openly, because we ourselves don't know what the reasons are. As we said in the past, our psychology, made of several fragments that do not know or collaborate with each other, is pretty difficult to understand because there is no continuity. There is a sort of a broken path made of several little pieces, and each of them may push in a different direction. There is an interesting law that holds in the universe. It is called the law of octaves, or the law of 7. And that states that if you start any activity, any action, say in this direction, there will be 2 stages in the development of this action in which, unless a specific effort is made, a sort of special effort, the whole activity will change direction radically. And after these 2 moments of, let's say, special difficulty, the whole thing will revert back to the direction against which I was starting. So in the end, I will get nothing done, although I may have put a lot of effort in that. And the fact that there needs to be a special effort may not be obvious. We just perceive it as a special difficulty or an unexpected problem. And the final result is what we had started out to do is not done. And we have spent a lot of energy and time. And we basically came back to the starting point. You may observe this in several occasions. But let's go back to the original topic, that is how we may block ourselves. This is part of a bigger topic, which is how much we lie to ourselves, how much we are able to not only lie to other people, but not be honest with ourselves, because basically we don't know what's happening. So we tend to build justifications and explanations for things which happen or do not happen. And the real reason is unknown, and we cannot really see it. But we hate to say, I don't know why I've done that. So we tend to invent something. And it is part of lying to ourselves, which is a big issue, basically the biggest obstacle to our inner growth. And of course is caused by our inner fragmentation and the lack of presence. So I'd like to suggest that we carry out a small exercise. If you have something to write, like your logbook or pen and paper, try and think of an example for something you really wanted to do, or maybe you tried to do for a long time, but that never happened the way you wanted, or it never happened at all. And once you have focused on that, I'll suggest the next step. So I give you short time to think about that and maybe write it down. If you have no examples, if you were always able to achieve what you started and fulfill all of your dreams, then I want to talk to you later and learn something from you, please. Okay, so hopefully now you have your example ready. And now let's place the situation that you are considering inside our mind, a little bit like we did last time. So say in my case, it's open a cafe. So I place this inside my mind. Try to make it as lively, as colorful, and as vibrant as possible. And then see what is the response of our mind and feelings. So now place it there and listen, look, feel, do not judge. A bit more time, maybe a complex process here. If you have finished, just remember yourself and wait. All right, so if you want to make a note, please do so. We will comment on this in the second part of our meeting today. Or if you feel like commenting now, you're welcome, as you wish. If not, let's now propose a couple more examples of last week's active imagination exercises. Again, we are probing our interiority through the deliberate injection of some content. Content which is designed to elicit a sort of response from the personality, or maybe from deeper areas. So last week we used the plane, so flying in a plane, and we used the idea of changing our lives, and the idea of going down in the cellar of our house. Now I'd like to propose two more. The first one is the following. You have been invited to a masked ball, which is a ball, so an invitation for a dance, where you will be wearing some sort of mask, a costume of your choice. So the night has arrived. You get to the venue, the beautiful place where you have been invited for this masked ball, and you enter the lobby where there is a great mirror, a full figure mirror in front of you. And there you are in front of the mirror. Now imagine yourself in that situation. Close your eyes. You are in front of the mirror. Take note of what is your costume and what it looks like. Even if you see yourself in the mirror as usual and you have forgot your costume, that's still an interesting thing to note. A little more time to make your notes. Now I'd like to follow with another example for you to consider. So the masked ball has ended. You're back home. The next day, you are walking along the street. It's a nice day. And you meet a small child. A small child is walking towards you, smiling, and it carries a box. It's a gift for you. So this child gives you the box. You take the box and open it and look inside. Now this is your situation. What is inside? And how do you feel about that? All right. As usual, we shall now stop our recording and start the part where we share our experiences and insights. If necessary and we need to record more, I will let you know.